right, everybody. We are back for episode 2 of the Weekly Gridiron. We are your hosts, Adam,
Dante,
and
Luke.
Thank you guys all for the feedback on episode 1. I'm glad everybody liked it. Our predictions did not go as planned, at least for Luke and I. Dante, you did well to this point. We'll get into that later.
I did historically awful.
Yeah. We do know for sure Dante will be with us the entire time.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, but without further ado, let's jump right into Week 3 predictions.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it going. Let's not waste any time, and we've got a banger to start on Thursday night, the second game ever on Thursday Night Amazon. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. I know I've been looking forward to this game for a while. I'm sure Dante has.
Yes, sir.
And Dante, you're the main Steeler fan here, so I'm going to let you pick first.
All right, so obviously I would love to pick the Steelers here, but there are many question marks on our offense and our defense. But our defense, they look nice in our last game, but we'll talk about that more later. I don't know. Offense has just been struggling the past two games, because we only played 2 so far. I don't know. I'm just more. You guys know how much I despise the Browns.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
But in all fairness and reality, I'm going to take the Browns here because, I don't know, I'm just more confident and I'm fearful of Nick Chubb. He's the main guy, but Steelers' run defense has been solid the last 2 games, but I don't know. Chubb just scares me, but yeah, I'm going to roll with the Browns, especially in Cleveland.
All right, Luke.
Kind of surprised you rolled with the Browns, but I committed a similar sin this past week, picking the Steelers over the Patriots, which we will get to later. This game I'm not really sure, but I guess I'll go with Cleveland just because somehow their QB situation has less question marks than the Steelers right now. It's not that the Steelers have worse quarterbacks than Jacoby Brissett, but, I mean, how long does Mitch Trubisky have left as a starting quarterback? That's the question. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty around the Steelers this week.
Yeah.
I can't find the right words to really describe why I'm picking them, but Nick Chubb is probably going to run all over them. Damian Harris had a good game. I just don't think the offense is explosive enough. On prime time, on Amazon Prime, I'm going to roll with the Cleveland Browns.
All right. For my prediction, just making sure you can hear me through the mic, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For my prediction, a wise person once told me, when you go with your gut, you are right 60% of the time. With that being said, as much as I think it's safe to roll with Cleveland, I'm going to rock with the hometown squad.
My boy.
One of us has to pick the Steelers.
Thank you.
Of course, one of us has to.
I'm going to pick the Steelers. It could be risky because Myles Garrett is on the Browns D-line and T.J. Watt is not on the Steelers D-line. That is a big thing, but I feel like this is a game the Steelers will bounce back.
But the thing I'm saying is, sorry to get hung up on this game.
No, you're good.
The thing I'm saying is, if we shut down Nick Chubb, which is a tall task, you got to. Our secondary's solid enough to shut down Jacoby Brissett, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So if we shut down the run game, that's really all it leans on.
Big if.
Big if right there, but
Yeah.
because it's Nick Chubb, a top 5 back in the league, in my opinion.
Oh,
All right.
At least I would say.
So we're not starting out with a clean sweep. That might be a good sign because from our clean sweeps last week, we weren't the greatest. But
And I'm really unsure about that pick. I didn't really give myself enough time to think about it. Pittsburgh could absolutely win.
yeah,
So.
for sure.
I hope you're right.
Moving on, we got another divisional matchup. The Bills and the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And for my prediction, I'm kind of rolling with the past history. You know how history has gone with this matchup in the past year or two, and that being the Bills have had some pretty easy wins over Miami, despite Miami having a great Week 2 performance. I'm going to rock with the Bills on the road. I think it could be closer this time around, but I think Josh Allen and the boys are going to get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, Bills are my Super Bowl pick. Sorry, Luke, but I don't know. The Bills just look like the perfect team against the Rams last week. And, you know, but we'll get into how they're going to what we think they're going to play like
For sure.
on Monday. So, yeah, we'll get into that. But, yeah, I'm going with the Bills over the Dolphins for sure.
Yeah, so this past week was a nightmare as a Tua hater. What did he have? 6 touchdowns, 470 yards in the air. But I do think that the Bills just pose a different challenge. They almost lost that game as well. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are almost unguardable. They pose an absolutely insane problem to any defense, not just with their speed, but with their ability to create plays for themselves. But Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. We're going to see that again tonight. We're filming this on a Monday. We haven't seen Monday Night Football yet. I have the Bills beating Miami in Miami, although I do think, and I hope, that it's going to be a really good game, similar to what very well might have been Game of the Year just yesterday in Baltimore.
Very true. That was a very good game, and we will get into that. So, next game we got to predict. We're heading to MetLife Stadium. The Jets are hosting the Bengals. Two teams that have had interesting starts. The Bengals are 0-2, coming off their Super Bowl. Super Bowl hangover much? I think so.
Much.
But I got to say, as much as they've struggled so far, the Jets, they had a good week too, but the Bengals got to get it done at some point, and I think this is the week they're going to get it done. I'm going to take the Bengals over the Jets.
Hold on, everyone, real quick. I have breaking news. Mike Evans has been suspended 1 game.
For what?
Wow.
For fighting and shoving Marshall Lattimore.
How could I forget about that?
He's on my fantasy team.
Uh-oh. I also had an update, which I forgot to deliver.
Also, Trubisky commented on the Kenny Pickett chance. He said, "It is what it is. You just have to block it out and continue to play football."
That's my QB, baby.
So did Lattimore,
That's your QB for now.
So did Lattimore not get suspended?
Probably not,
That's
since
interesting.
I'm not really completely sure how much of a role Lattimore had in instigating it. But I
True.
did see Mike Evans pushed him.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Harshly, dude.
yeah,
He was aggressive.
He did not hold back. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There are no other suspensions. It's only Evans for 1 game.
Mike Evans, 1 game suspension.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other thing I did see, which will be focused on more for tonight's Monday Night Football matchup, is the Titans are going to elevate Josh Gordon to play.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Or should I say Flash Gordon?
Josh Gordon is going to elevate his smoking to the next level to get
Yeah.
ready for this game.
Probably. But hey, I mean, back to the Bengals and Jets prediction. I have the Bengals winning.
Yeah,
What do you guys
let's stay on course now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are new to this, learn that we jump off course a lot. At least Dante and I did a lot last year.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's part of the fun.
It's all right. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'll let Dante go.
Yeah, you're good. This game, Bengals, Jets, everybody's talking about, the Bengals O-line, it's horrible. But their offense is good. And their defense has been playing solid. Trey Hendrickson. What's Hubbard's first name?
Sam.
Sam Hubbard, that's right. Mike Hilton, all those guys on that.
Steelers legend Mike Hilton.
Oh, man, I wish we still had him. With that being said, I'm rolling with the Jets, Jets.
I know somebody was going to pick
And the
them.
Bengals are going to be 0-3 going into the year. Do I feel so confident in this pick? Not really. However,
That's a risk.
it is a
Dante
risk.
He just loves the rest of the Steelers division.
Hey,
doesn't
he was right on what?
I
The
don't
last
know
scenario
how-
I'm having the
prediction.
same, dude. I'm having
You
the
were right
same
with the
feeling.
Cowboys.
I'm having the same feeling that I was having last time. Once again, it's in MetLife.
We'll see.
Bengals are on the road. They have to travel a lot. Jets just coming off a big
Well,
win.
This last game wasn't in MetLife for the Bengals, but
No, I'm talking about
oh
Bengals are on the road.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Okay.
This game is in MetLife. But yeah, I'm rolling with the Jets here. I don't know. I just have a good feeling. Garrett Wilson, that was his breakout game last week, so
Yeah,
I'm
all
going
right.
with it.
Luke, what is your pick for this game?
So it's a little bit strange, right? Super Bowl hangover, it's definitely a thing. It's not supposed to be this much of a thing. Something has to give. Joe Burrow I would have never predicted that he would have started 0-2 against Cooper Rush and who did they lose to?
Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky. And I can't let myself predict that he's going to start 0-3 to Mitch Trubisky, Cooper Rush, and Joe Flacco. As funny as it would be, something has to give. The Bengals are too good, or so we thought. I mean, they just went to the Super Bowl, and it's the Jets. I could see myself being wrong, and that's the funny thing. But I suppose if I get this game wrong, I'm willing to risk that. Something has to give. The Bengals aren't going to just keep losing forever. They're too good of a team. That's what they've shown Not this year, but something has to give. They are due. Joe Burrow is due. Jamar Chase is due. That defense is due. And the Jets are due. So I'm picking the Bengals.
Bars.
Bars.
Better than Logic.
No.
Big Logic fans over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fun fact, he did shout out Dante at his recent concert we were at.
Not to gloat, but yes, that did happen.
I still can't believe that. But let's stay on track here with our next game prediction. Our next 1 o'clock game at Nissan Stadium, we've got the Tennessee Titans hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Two teams that could start 0-2. Tennessee's is pending due to tonight's Monday night game, but the Raiders are 0-2. And Dante, I'm going to let you start this one out.
Yeah, I just think there's too many question marks with the Titans, and I'm way more confident in the Raiders, even though it is in Nashville. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think the Titans secondary also has a lot of question marks. They don't really have that staple back there. So, yeah, I think Devontae Adams is going to have a good game. I think Waller's going to have a good game. And, yeah, I'm rolling with the Raiders here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like you said, there's some risks with Tennessee. I think they could be better than people say they are.
Agreed, for sure.
Then again, Vegas' offense is just overpowered with options, and I'm not the strongest believer in Tennessee's defense. I think it's a good unit, but I think it could be a lot better. That being said, I think it could be close, but I'm going to rock with Vegas on the road. It could be by a touchdown or a field goal, but I'm going to take Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Vegas as well.
Clean sweep.
I think this will probably be a matchup between two 0-2 teams. We'll see that tonight. I don't expect Tennessee to win tonight. What's strange to me is that Devontae Adams, I believe, only had 2 receptions this week. That's not going to continue.
Yeah,
There's no way it does.
Wrong if he's only got 2.
Derek Carr will probably force it to him this game out of a little bit of frustration, but there's not many better people to force it to than Devontae Adams. And if not that alone, there's a list of things that I could say that just look better for Vegas than they do for Tennessee. Although I'm starting to really think that both teams are at least slightly overrated, even though I like Derek Carr a lot. I liked the Raiders, and I don't want to say that they might be overrated. So this might not be that impressive of a win, but I am going to pick Las Vegas.
All right. So was that our first clean sweep, or did we clean sweep with the Bills against the
Yeah, we had to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our second clean sweep of the episode. But moving on to a game that could be a clean sweep, we've got my Panthers hosting the New Orleans Saints, another divisional matchup that is at 1 next Sunday at the B of A. I'm going to start this one out. I never usually do this as a fan, but I already congratulated my good friend Mason Syke, who is a Saints fan, on his Week 3 victory because I think the Saints will beat the Panthers. I don't think it's going to be a destroying victory. I hope it's not. I think it could be close because Carolina has a habit of making the games close, just not winning the games. And honestly, at this point, anything to get Matt Rule fired, I think the Saints do win this game, though, despite however Jameis played last week and injuries that could happen. I think the Saints take it on the road.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm also going to roll with the Saints here. Adam, as much as I would love to pick your Panthers here.
I understand. Don't worry.
And I don't know. The Panthers, there's just a lot of question marks there. I love CMC. I love DJ Moore. I'm just not too confident in Baker at this moment. But the Saints, they've been playing good football even though they haven't been winning all their games. I don't know. I just like the Saints more than I like the Panthers right now, and I'm rolling with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Saints as well. This might be a little bit of a boring game, even though I know, how could you say that anything about Jameis Winston is boring? But Carolina is not impressive at all. New Orleans also didn't impress me very much, especially this week. I picked them to beat the Buccaneers. I was wrong. It was 3-3 for the longest time. So yeah, boring team, a little bit of a boring matchup. But what history has shown and what logic shows right now is that the Saints will probably just be able to flat out outplay Carolina in every aspect.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I want to roll with them, I really, really do. I don't think I can this week. It's going to be rough. It's going to be an 0-3 start, I think, for Carolina. So Moving on, Luke, this game is featured for you. We've got the Ravens and the Patriots. I believe this is New England's home opener.
Yeah.
They started the year on the road, so I'm going to let you pick first. Who do you got winning that game?
Well, I went against my heart last week and picked the Steelers. And I don't want to do it again, but after this week, I suppose, the week that Lamar just had. Although, I must say, I can get into all of this. I'm just stalling because I don't have a pick yet. We had a really impressive week on defense. The Patriots did. Offense, wasn't perfect. But also the Ravens defense just allowed a really, really bad game on the Ravens defense. I'm stalling. I guess I'm going to have to pick the Ravens. It's a safe option. I really hate picking against the Patriots, especially after I just picked the Steelers and was wrong. That didn't feel the best, even though I was very, very happy to be wrong. And I'll be very, very happy to be wrong again.
Yeah.
Patriots did win the last matchup. It was Cam Newton, who was, I believe it was in New England. It was a rainy game. The Patriots beat the Ravens their last matchup. But it's not Cam Newton, it's Mac Jones. The weather will probably be fine. There's other elements that's obviously going to be different. Lamar is still really, really good. So I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens.
That's fair. I'm also going to roll with the Ravens here. I don't know. The Ravens just, I don't know. Lamar has just been playing some of his best football that he's ever played these past 2 games, even though they have, I don't know if the offense was struggling, just the team as a whole was kind of struggling. But yeah, I'm more confident in the Ravens, even though both these teams are really lacking at receiver. I'm sure, Luke, you may agree with that, even though Devontae Parker did have a game. Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Ravens here. They just seem like the better squad.
Yeah, I unfortunately, as much as I want to favor with you, Luke, I am going to make this a clean sweep and pick the Ravens. I just think if I'm comparing the teams in their last matchup, actually, never mind, the Ravens didn't win, but it looked like they were going to for a while, and they were playing really well until they just collapsed ultimately. We will get into that later on when we recap week 2. But, if I'm comparing the team, Lamar's the better QB. I feel like Damian Harris could be better at running back, but receiving, it's a question mark around both sides, but Mark Andrews is a big plus for the Ravens, and their defense has looked pretty good so far. So I am going to rock with the Ravens and make this a clean sweep. For our next game, we've got the Lions and the Vikings. This is in Minnesota, and it's another divisional matchup. Lots of divisional matchups here in Week 3. And as much as I want to pick the Lions after they just won, I'm thinking, Justin Jefferson is that guy. The Vikings have looked good so far. I'm going to roll with Minnesota at home, but I think it could be a close game. It could very well be a trap game for the Vikings, but I am going to roll with them in a close matchup here.
That's fair. I'm also going to roll with the Vikings here. I don't know. It is in Minnesota, and I don't know. I'm not confident in the Lions at all right now. So yeah, I'm going to roll with them. The Vikings, I mean.
Yeah, as much as I want to roll with the Lions and to make this not a clean sweep and be a better friend to all my Lions fans friends for the rest of the week, I'm going to roll with Minnesota. Not because Detroit hasn't looked very impressive, but I think that Detroit can score all they want, and if something happens in this game, like it happened in the Lions game this week, where they start to let the Commanders come back, the defense starts to make some mistakes, they no longer have a firm grip on the lead. The Vikings will punish them for that more than the Commanders did. Justin Jefferson will have a great game. I'll go with Minnesota at home. It's going to be a close game, but I think that at the end of the day, when the Lions make their mistakes, Minnesota will be able to capitalize on them better than, say, the Commanders did, who almost came back and won today, if not having made some big mistakes of their own.
All right. I see what you guys are doing there. I like the prediction. So I wasn't paying attention. Did we clean sweep on that one too? Did we all pick the Vikings?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe we'll see if these next few matchups are a little more controversial, I should say. But Next one we got is another divisional matchup. Wow, and I just want to see before we finish up. We still got two more divisional matchups next week. That's crazy. But the next one we've got is the Eagles and the Commanders. That is in Washington. I'm going to let you guys pick before me. Dante or Luke, whichever one of you wants to go first.
This may be a hot take, but I'm going to roll with the Commanders here. The Commanders are looking good. I like Jahan Dotson. I like Terry McLaurin. Not a big fan of Antonio Gibson, but, I was talking to the boys about that earlier. No, but I'm going to roll with Washington here, especially in Washington.
Well, time to change the tide a little bit. Not going to be a clean sweep. Give me the Eagles, even though, of course, it's a little bit harder to say that because we haven't seen them play tonight on Monday night. But I don't think it's going to have a big change in how this week goes. The Eagles are good. The Commanders are fine, but they make mistakes. Of course, I like Jahan Dotson. Of course, I like Terry McLaurin. But I really like Jalen Hurts. I really like A.J. Brown. I really like Miles Sanders. They have a good defense. Okay, so our recording just stopped real quick for a second. Not sure why, but we'll carry on. I believe I was just complimenting the Eagles. So I'll wrap up what I have to say about this game, and I will pick the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, so now, for who is Adam going to pick in this NFC East divisional matchup? One of two next week because the other two are playing on Monday night. Spoiler alert. All right, so I can only rock with one of you. That being said, who is it going to be? Well, before the show, if you guys remember, I said I had something picked before we started. For my upset of the week, give me the Commanders over the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm looking forward to being the only one that's right about this game.
I like too much about the Commanders. I mean, I was at a place yesterday where there was too much hate on the Commanders, and I mean, I understood it 'cause a lot of us wanted the Lions to win. I like too much about the Commanders. I think they're a little bit hated on. They might not be that great of a team, but I think they're a little bit better than people think. And I think they could pull off this win at home in the ever-wonderful FedEx Field that everybody loves. But moving on to our next game, Luke, I'm going to let you in on a little tradition that Dante and I had because I think this could be one of those where we just do this quickly. We got the Chiefs and the Colts. And this is a game that I think everybody knows the answer to. So Dante and I know what we're going to do.
Yep.
I'm going to let you in. 1, 2, 3.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colts.
We
No, I'm just kidding.
But if you want me to give a little bit of insight, it's been a rough year for the Colts so far, and we'll get into this. But they did not look great in Week 1. They did not look any better in Week 2. And Kansas City has just looked phenomenal so far. So I think that's a no-brainer pick.
Hey, the good news, Colts fans, you're clearly at rock bottom, so there's only one way to go, which is up.
Hey.
Unless you lose even worse to the Jags later in the season, in which case, I don't know.
I mean, at worst, they could get the number 1 pick and get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and they could just move on from Matt Ryan. It's up to them.
It's still Chiefs this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
God, I wish Andrew Luck was still playing. Anyways, let's move on to what I'm pretty sure Dante has refused to or referred to in the past as a snooze fest.
I was about to say that.
We've got the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears. I cannot name one person other than the TikTok sensation for the Chicago fan base, Connor Burns, that is going to tune into this game. That might be the only one. This game's going to be boring. That being said, we have to pick somebody. I don't know who the heck I'm going to pick. I'll let you guys start.
I'm going with the Bears here, especially in Chicago. But, yeah, I'm rolling with the Bears for sure. I really have no explanation.
Yeah. Why not? I'll go with the Bears. Even though Houston, they seem a little more like they have a higher floor than Chicago. I think Chicago could always play terrible, but I think Houston is always just going to be just fine, never any good. But this game is not going to be any good. It's just going to be boring, so why not? Give me the Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. I never thought I would say this, but we have a clean sweep with the Chicago Bears winning.
What an ugly clean sweep.
Right.
Never thought I'd see the day, but I'm going to take Chicago as well. I think this could be a very close game because I feel like both teams are kind of evenly matched here. A young, up-and-coming quarterback, maybe not as much as the running backs, but a good receiver on each end with Darnell Mooney and Brandon Cooks. That's going to be an exciting matchup to see. I can't speak today, but yeah, clean sweep. Give me the Bears.
Actually, I'm going to give myself 5 seconds. I'm not sure. Okay, I'll stick with the Bears.
All right, yeah,
I
think
don't
you
know.
should.
I was really contemplating just changing my answer there, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Hey, trust in Justin Fields.
We'll see about that.
I just wish they let him pass the ball more times than 11. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that team is kind of confusing, but I think they can get this win. Hey, I will say this, if they can beat the 49ers at home, they should have no problem beating the Texans
That's
at
true.
home, right?
That's true. Also, Mike Evans is appealing his suspension.
Yeah, as he probably should. I mean, each player is going to do that. I can't imagine how far someone's going to go. But anyway, next game we've got to predict. We've got the Jaguars and the Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Do we all know who we're rolling with for this game?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3.
Chargers.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say,
Oh my
Luke.
God, Luke.
Yeah.
Although after this week, honestly though, all right, it's still the Chargers, but what
Yeah.
if Justin Herbert doesn't play?
He should, right?
Should
Even
he?
if he doesn't play, I'm still taking the Chargers. That's just
Right,
me.
but he has fractured rib cartilage.
That's
I
true.
think.
It is the same injury Alvin Kamara is dealing with, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
I did see that. So I feel like Justin Herbert's going to play. I feel like they're going to make it so he can come back and play.
We'll see. I don't know. They may think that this is a game that they can win without him, and they'll sit him. Although after he played the fourth quarter after suffering those injuries, I'm not sure he's going to just accept not playing. Either way, I don't know why I'm still
Either
on
way,
this.
I've never been fully sold on Trevor, so give me that boy Easton Stick if I have to rock with it. I believe that's their backup, right? Is it Easton Stick?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I think it is.
Moving on. This is a much better game. I forgot to mention Jaguars and Chargers is the first 4 p.m. game of next week's slate. So, with our next 4 p.m. game. That was also the only 4:05 game, by the way. In our first of 3 4:25 games, we've got another divisional matchup. It is the LA Rams on the road heading to Arizona, where this year's Super Bowl will be, and where the Pittsburgh Steelers will be playing, right, Dante?
Yes, sir.
To take on, the Rams will be taking on the Arizona Cardinals at, I believe it's called State Farm Stadium. So that being said, who am I going to pick? Well, both teams bounced back this week. We'll get into that later. I could rock with the Cardinals at home, but actually, yeah, I'm going to rock with the Cardinals at home. You can call
Wow.
that an upset if you want.
All right.
I think it is.
I feel like
That's fun.
they had a good week, and they just, I feel like they've handled the Rams at home in the past. So I am going to rock the Cardinals at home. I feel like it's a trap game for the Rams. In fact, is this my upset of the week, or is it the Commanders? I'll have to debate it, but I'm going to say this is my upset of the week. Cardinals, Cardinals over Rams at home for upset of the week. New upset of the week, I should say.
I'm going with the Rams here, Adam. I'm not going to call you crazy,
No, you're good.
but I just think the Raiders defense and the Rams defense are two different animals. I think they're going to shut down Kyler very easily, and I think the Rams are going to come out with a win here.
Okay, is it too late to change? I'm going to take the Rams.
All right.
I kind of thought about it for a second. Then as soon as you said the defenses, I'm like, okay, I'd be kind of stupid to rock with the other side. That being said, I hope this doesn't come back to bite me. I'm going to take the Rams. So the Commanders is back to being my upset of the week. Luke, are you ready to make your pick?
Yeah, I just looked it up. The Rams happen to be 10-1 against the Cardinals in the last 11,
Oh, okay.
with the last loss coming in October of last year. So, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they did beat them once last year.
Oh, including playoffs, right? No? Yeah.
Can't
And
forget that.
either way,
playoffs
I'm
game.
picking the Rams. Both teams had interesting weeks. The Rams almost blew a lead to the Falcons, The Cardinals came back on the Raiders. I think it could be a good game, but I'm just going to go with the Rams.
I think that's the safe pick. I'm officially rocking with the Rams. I don't know why I thought about the Cardinals, but hey, that's the fun of the show. It makes you think. Our next matchup, this is going to be a good game. We've got the Packers and the Buccaneers in Tampa. Dante, why don't you get us started with this pick?
Now, we talked about earlier in the show Mike Evans getting suspended. That's going to have a big impact because he is wide receiver 1 on that Bucs team, deservingly so. This is tough, man. I don't know where I'm going with this. Of course, I love Brady. Now that he's with the Bucs, not with the Pats, but
True.
I don't know. I just have a feeling the Packers are going to come out and surprise people, and they're going to come out and they're going to win this game because the Bucs did not look good against the Saints. So yeah, I'm rolling with the Packers here.
Okay, Luke?
I'm not really sure if it's even possible for an Aaron Rodgers-Tom Brady game to be boring. I think it might be. To me, the Buccaneers haven't really had an exciting game yet. I'm going to roll with the Packers. So, our recording keeps stopping randomly.
Basically, when the computer shuts off.
It's fine. It's really no big deal.
Yeah.
But it's just a little annoying.
So, finish your thought, Luke.
I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm just going to go with the Packers.
All right. I was thinking about this game. I was thinking, could I roll with Tom Brady? I was thinking about it here. The Buccaneers are missing a lot of people. Mike Evans could be suspended a game. Chris Godwin hurt. Julio Jones could be hurt. The Packers are the safe pick here, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are they the pick I'm going to make?
No.
No. I feel like this is a game Tom Brady is gonna win somehow. Because he's Tom frickin' Brady. He does this. I'm rolling with the Bucs at home.
Yeah, Brady does beat Rodgers.
All right.
In the
I'm going to
postseason.
cash in my change. I'm going to roll with the Bucs.
That's fair.
I might have sounded confident, but I was debating it for the past couple minutes. And what history has shown me as a Patriots fan, when in doubt, I'm just not going to bet against Tom Brady. So we'll see. Could be a good game, like I said. Could also be a kind of boring game. We'll see. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady.
I feel like he just had a rough week, even though they won. It was a rough week for Brady. You know, slamming tablets and having a rough time on the field. We'll get into that. But I feel like he's due for a bounce back. And why not be a bounce back when they're doubted? So
Plus, 2-0 is 2-0.
Right.
So.
And I mean, there is the smallest chance Mike Evans could play if he wins the suspension appeal. So we do have that. But anyway, moving on to the next game. It's our second snooze fest of the week. We've got the Atlanta Falcons heading to, what do they call it, Lumen Field now?
Lumen Field, yeah.
To take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Battle of the Birds.
Yes,
you
sir.
could call it. Marcus Mariota versus Geno Smith. That being said, I forget how the joke went for Geno after week 1, but Geno Smith wrote me this morning and told me to pick the Seahawks, so I'm going to pick the Seahawks.
They wrote me off, but I didn't write back. Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you, Adam. I'm going to roll with the Falcons here.
Okay.
Because the Falcons almost made an insane comeback on the Rams. And the Falcons offense just looks better than the Seahawks offense. Though I would never bet my life savings against any of these teams.
No.
I'm going to go with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I mean, I love Marcus Mariota. I'm just not high on the rest of the Falcons. Plus, they're my worst favorite team in the NFL, so I kind of got to
That's understandable.
roll against the enemy. You know,
I get that. I get
I
that.
can never faithfully pick them. So.
I mean, you did pick the Saints over the Panthers, though.
I don't mind the Saints as much as you think. I mean,
It's like me
they've
with
got
the,
a lot of players. I like.
As
That's
did
it.
I pick the Steelers over the Patriots, and you picked the Browns over the Steelers. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, it's like the way you feel about the Saints is the way I feel about the Ravens, and the way you feel about the Falcons is how I feel about the Browns.
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair. All right. Anyway, Luke, I'll let you make your pick.
Right, yeah. I'm going to roll with Atlanta as well.
Really? Okay.
I think that Atlanta probably has a higher ceiling than Seattle. Marcus Mariota probably has a higher ceiling than Geno Smith. And A.J. Terrell hasn't been playing great on the Atlanta defense. I think he should have a good game against Seattle. I expect some turnovers. So I'm not going to think too deeply about this game, but I'm going to pick Atlanta.
Well, as Luke said best in the Philly-Washington prediction, I'm going to enjoy this when I'm right.
Yeah, right.
Moving on to our Sunday night football game of next week. The Broncos are riding back home to host the San Francisco 49ers. And somehow Jimmy G and Russ are once again playing against each other. I never thought we'd see that, but yeah, we'll get into that. I feel bad for Trey Lance. But anyway, who am I going to pick for this game? I don't know, so I'm going to let you guys start.
Want me to go, Luke?
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I mean, the Broncos have looked pitiful these last couple games. Maybe not the Broncos themselves, more coaching. But I like Jimmy G. I like what he's about. I think he's going to play well for the Niners here since, Trey Lance went out with an ankle injury. But, yeah, I'm rolling with the Niners here for sure. Like, fairly confident. Yeah.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
With, we interrupt this program with some news for the Thursday night game. This could help out the Steelers potentially.
Oh.
We have 2 inactives already for the Cleveland Browns. Jadeveon Clowney suffered an ankle injury Sunday and has already been ruled out. And along with him, Patriots legend Chase Winovich will also miss the game with a hamstring injury. So
that is huge.
Despite the fact he was already going to miss the game on the bench. But that's fine.
Those are your 2 inactives.
Wow,
Anyway,
Clowney is huge.
Yeah, true. Luke, carry on.
So, first off, one more interruption. Let's wish a happy NFL birthday to Evan Neal and Steelers legend Brett Kiesel.
Yes.
Kiesel, the beard, baby.
Number 99.
Now it's Ogunjobi's 99.
Yes. Soon it will be my 99.
And that's
A-Dog 99.
I have 99 reasons to pick the 49ers.
Nice.
I think they're just better. Jimmy G back in that offense. Again, not a very high ceiling, except for the fact that they went to the NFC Championship.
True.
Offensively, Deebo Samuel is due. So I think we're going to get a very, very good San Francisco 49ers performance and a very clear win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Deebo Samuel's due. George Kittle, this could be his first game of the year, hopefully. I hate to see him out for this long. It's like Dante said, the Broncos have struggled so far, and like Lucas said, the 49ers, they're just better. That being said, I'm going to make this a clean sweep and roll with San Francisco on Monday night.
All right.
And moving on to our Monday night prediction for next week, our final divisional matchup of Week 3. We've got the Cowboys and the Giants at MetLife.
Wow.
On the primetime stage. I'm going to get this one started. I was going back and forth for this game. I was debating making this my upset of the week and picking the Giants. But then I remembered somebody by the name of Daniel Jones does not do particularly well on the primetime stage.
Does he do particularly well ever?
No. And then I remembered somebody that has done particularly well so far as the Cowboys QB1. In recent memory, he's 2-0 in games he's started, and that is Cooper Rush. One of those wins was on primetime. I think he's going to make it 2-0 on primetime and 3-0 as the Cowboys QB1. I think Dallas improves to 2-1, and the Cowboys get the win on the road.
You want to go next, Luke, or you want me to?
Sure, I can go next.
All right.
Let's have some fun. Let's create a little bit of chaos. The New York Giants are going to start the year 3-0.
I cannot believe that.
Let's do it. I'm rocking with the Giants. I don't even like them. I'm just rocking with the Giants. I just want to see it happen.
Hey, it could happen.
Luke? I agree.
Let's go.
I agree. The Giants are going to start 3-0.
Roll with the Giants, baby.
That's why I wanted you to go.
Brian Dable, 3-0, baby.
Saquon Barkley going off.
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. Kenny Galladay. Shout out to Josh Knapp.
You might be right, Adam.
I'm going to enjoy
Who
this
cares?
if I am.
I'll take the L.
I gotta
Danny
stand
Dimes,
up.
Saquon.
I got to stand up like Pat McAfee right now.
He is actually standing up for those who don't believe him right now.
Josh
And
Knapp.
I'll
so is
stand up
Luke
too.
now.
Let's go.
Josh Knapp, I know you're listening. Kenny Golladay is about to have a game.
Career day, baby.
I don't even know if he's on the team anymore because that's how little I care about the Giants.
He's practically not, even though he is.
That's how little I care about the Giants. But Josh Knapp, Kenny Golladay is your dad.
Saquon masterclass.
Giants 3-0, winning the East
this is when poor
year.
Nap is going to click out of the episode.
All right, I'm sitting down.
Hey,
now.
that wraps up the Week 3 predictions. So why don't we do what we said we do all episode? Let's recap Week 2, shall we?
Oh my goodness.
Let's start with the Thursday night game of Week 2, the Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs came away with a 3-point victory at home in what turned out to be a close game. The Chargers had the lead for a while, but Patrick Mahomes was that guy. We had a nice, 99-yard pick six. I forget whose name it was that got it on the Chiefs, but that was nice. Herbert did have a rib injury. I hope he's okay, and I hope he's good to go for next week's game. You never like to see that. But other than that, Herbert, 334 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Just that pick. That was the only bad thing. And then Mahomes, 2 touchdowns and 235 yards passing. Classic Mahomes.
Yeah, credit to Justin Herbert for how much grit and determination he showed after getting so banged up in the fourth quarter, staying in, having what was a very confusing third down where he could have ran for the first down, but then just delivering an impeccable pass for what was a 20-yard gain, I think. Anyways, Herbert showed a lot of character in staying in that game. He fought. Chiefs still won. It was a good game.
Yeah. Herbert gave everything he had in this game, man. Threw the ball 48 times, 3 touchdowns, over 330 yards. Yeah, they just could not get the run game going. Eckler had 14 carries for 39 yards. Those are Najee Harris numbers. Running behind a horrible O-line. I don't know. I just really felt bad for Herbert, and I just wish they would have got the job done because, in my opinion, they deserve to win this game.
Yeah. We got to take a step back real quick. Dante, I realized you forgot to do your good, bad, and ugly for Week 3. Do you have those written down or prepared?
You know what? I actually forgot to write those down, but I could could freeball it.
Why don't we recap? Actually, I'll go a little bit out of order here since I know we want to put more focus on the Steelers and Panthers. Why don't I talk a little bit about the Jets and the Browns?
Yes, of course.
If you want to think about it real quick. So, we kind of freeball a lot of things here, but Jets and the Browns, man, this was a game. And one of the many comebacks you will have seen in Week 2. There was a trend there this week. But the Jets get the very narrow 1-point win in Cleveland. They were down with about a minute and a half to go, maybe 2.5 minutes, and got the 1-point win. Joe Flacco with 4 touchdowns, 307 passing yards, looking like the Joe Flacco of old. We had Garrett Wilson getting his first career touchdown and adding another one on later. Corey Davis got a touchdown. Breece Hall got his first career touchdown, I believe. For Cleveland, Jacoby Brissett, he had 1 passing touchdown and 1 pick. Nick Chubb had 3 rushing touchdowns. He was the big reason Cleveland was in this game. Amari Cooper had a receiving touchdown. But, Jets, Jets. How about them? Craziness. A lot of people wrote them off for this game, including all of us. We clean swept with the Cleveland Browns for this game. And the Jets just said, nah, I'm that guy.
Nah.
Give me the win on the road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, quite the comeback. I don't have much to say about that game. It's just pretty interesting.
I
Flacco.
do have my good, bad, and ugly if you guys are prepared for it.
Well, if we're done talking about this game, we can get right into
Let's
that.
go for it.
All right, Dante, lay it on us. This is for Week 3, let me remind you all.
So if y'all don't know how this works, I'll tell you who I think is going to play good, who I think is going to play bad, and who's just going to, be a little disappointing, a little underwhelming. So for my good, I have Nick Chubb against the Steelers run D. You know me, I'm a Steeler fan, but that's just how I see it happening. Then I have Cooper Kupp against the Cardinals defense. Then I have the Chargers defense against Jacksonville. So, all pretty self-explanatory there. Then for bad, I have Jared Goff this week against Minnesota. Then I have Tannehill against the Raiders.
Nap, look away with the Jared Goff.
Then I have Trevor Lawrence against the Chargers. And for ugly, I have Marcus Mariota. Pretty self-explanatory there. I have Justin Fields.
Didn't you pick the Falcons?
Yeah. Oh, dude, but I still think it's gonna
We picked the Falcons. I kind of agree, though.
It's still gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
I have Justin Fields against the Texans. Once again, I took the Bears there. And then, I have Joe Burrow against the Jets. Gonna be an ugly match.
It's off to a rough start this year. Poor Joe.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, those are my predictions.
All right, so how about we get through the rest of the week 3, or the week 2?
You're good. Still rolling.
Oh, it is? Wait.
Yep, you're good.
So did it just catch me swearing?
Hey, man.
All right,
It
well,
happens.
We're on YouTube.
look away, Mom.
We're not at PSU
Sorry
anymore.
if it probably just caught me swearing because
it happens.
the computer went black for a third time.
Just keep rolling, Luke. You're
But
good.
The show must go on.
Yes, sir.
So as I was saying, let's continue the week 2 recap, and then after that, I'll get back into my segment of the show, Stardom Situm. With that being said, let's keep going
you
through
want me
week
to
2.
go? Okay, sorry. For our next game to recap, I might want to do some things on the side here to prepare for week 3, so I'm going to let you guys have a field day with this. Patriots, I'll get it started there. Patriots get the very
Happy
narrow
Victory Monday!
3-point win over the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, ruining the home opener for Mike Tomlin and Party.
I've
and
never
company.
been more happy to be wrong in my life.
Luke did have a fun time yesterday. We were at our friend Josh Knapp's apartment. Shout out to Josh and Nick Cooper and the rest of the gang. That was a very nice apartment, by the way, if you guys were listening. We had fun at that place yesterday watching
I
the
had
game.
fun.
Luke especially had fun. But yeah, I mean, some things I noticed. Patriots clearly bounced back. They had a better game. Steelers defense, they were fine. I mean, they made some stops, but could have been a little better. I mean, without T.J. Watt, goes without saying, it's not going to be as great. The offense was a little questionable to me. I mean, Deontay Johnson, I think, had a good game. Najee was Najee. Freiermuth was Freiermuth. But Matt Canada, man, that play calling is just so questionable. My main critique, okay, I get Mitch struggles with throwing a deep ball, but you have, and I love Deontay Johnson going off, but you have George Pickens and Chase Claypool. Please use them. Why are they not getting that much targets? Especially Pickens. You just used a second-round pick on him. You used a second-round pick on Claypool, too. Why are you not targeting them? They're here, too. I mean, Come on. Yeah. It's self-explanatory. Even Snoop Dogg wants you fired, Matt Canada.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's seen that by this point.
You know what? Matter of fact, since this is on YouTube now, and this isn't for a class, I'm going to play that video once Luke's done talking about the Patriots.
Yeah.
Please do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Mom and Dad, I apologize because Snoop Dogg does swear a few times. But
Oh,
it's Snoop
get
Dogg.
over it.
I mean, you can.
All right. So I want to congratulate the best owner in football, Mr. Robert Kraft, on his 500th win as the owner of the Patriots. So I saw so many things I liked this game. Some things that I didn't. Something could have been so much better. Obviously, it could have been so much better of a win. 17-14, a little bit of a snooze fest. We could have won bigger. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Cole Strange. He took 40 pass blocking snaps against the Steelers. He just allowed one hurry all game. I don't want to hear TJ Watt. I don't want to hear any of that. Cole Strange is him. Best player in NFL history. Hey,
Can I say one?
keep sleeping like you slept through that loss.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Don't act like you didn't sleep on him on draft night. Don't act like you didn't sleep on him on draft night.
I'm writing down my our week 3 picks, and I just realized I opened my notes and the fantasy leaders were right there, so I'm hoping nobody saw
Oh,
it.
I
It's
didn't see
fine.
it, dude.
Okay, good.
Let me have a
All
little
right.
bit of fun.
Luke, go back to what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. So wait, I was gonna say, there's no way Robert Kraft's got 500 wins already. This is his 500th game as the owner of the. I was gonna say what? Yeah, the game number 500's win. Congrats, Mr. Kraft. The Patriots played great. Mac Jones looked much better. Cole Strange was awesome. Damian Harris got the volume of carries I expected him to going into this year. He was great. Nelson Aguilar, what a great game. He mossed with a spoon.
It's a
I believe it
fluke.
was the second quarter. Awesome. I must say, Matt Patricia called a good game. He did.
You might never say those words again.
I hope I do, though. Matt Patricia called a good game. Meanwhile, Josh McDaniels is 0-2. I'm just going to say. The offense could have been better, but so much of an improvement from week 1. I was watching the game in Miami. We just could not get the ball down the field no matter what. It was such a struggle. And I'm not going to hear anything about that's because of the defenses we played. The Steelers' defense is legit. It's legit without TJ Watt. And we played well. We were moving the football, getting first downs, getting good chunk 8, 10-yard plays, especially with the rushing attack. Ramondre Stevenson played well. Even Mac Jones took it for a first down, I think, at least once. The defense played great. The pass rush was good. I don't remember. Were there any interceptions? I think there was at least one, right?
Yeah, to Minka.
Well, I mean, for the Patriots.
For the Patriots?
I think there was at least one.
Yeah, it was to...
There had to have been.
Let me see.
Anyways.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, I believe that Mitch got picked off once.
Jalen Mills?
Yeah, that's right. Jalen Mills, first
The
interception.
dude with the green hair.
That's right. Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin, the first interception as a member of the Patriots. Great. A lot of things I like to see this week. It was a good win. I've never been more happy to be wrong in my life, except for halftime at Super Bowl 53. But I thank you for letting me have my 5 minutes of fun.
Oh, of
rejoicing
course.
in this victory.
Of
As I
course.
would have let you. I'm sure you have your thoughts as well, Dante. I'll sit back here smiling,
Matt Canada.
and I'll let you do your thing.
Well, first of all, Luke, thank you for being so kind and generous.
You're welcome, my friend.
I just want to say, I'm beating Luke by 108 points in fantasy right now.
Yeah, I still have. Who do I still have to play? Come on, be fair. I still have one person. I think like Derrick Henry. Either way, he's beating me by 100 points in fantasy. So you can have that. You can have that. I'm gonna need to blow up my team on week 3. Thanks a lot, but you can have that. I'll take the Patriots' victory.
That's fair. All right, so before I start my 30-minute rant on why the Steelers played like garbage yesterday, I'll let Snoop Dogg come out and give a little intro to what I'm about to say.
Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking offensive coordinator. This guy sucks. Coach Tomlin, this is Snoop Dogg, man. Fire that motherfucker and get us a real offensive coordinator. Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers need a new fucking...
Yeah, so Snoop Dogg said it himself. Matt Canada.
Yeah, he did not stop.
What was that play calling?
Can I read something?
Yes, of course.
So,
do your thing.
Live review this is from Mason Syke. He just sent a tweet from Barstool
one of our
Yinzers.
friends. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, I've seen this.
The Matt Canada reviews are in, folks. Deontay Johnson says, we have to call the right plays to get down the field in the right ways.
Oh, shit.
Chase
Deontay.
Claypool, we can only do what they tell us to do and execute it.
Fair.
Mitch Trubisky, call concepts to get receivers there.
Spitting. Yeah.
All of us, fire Matt Canada.
Bars.
Bars.
Congratulations, you got out-coached by Matt Patricia.
And, yeah, that's when you know this guy needs to go. Okay, so let me just start out with all this Mitch slander. Mitch?
This is fun. I'm having fun.
Oh, me
Are
too.
you guys having fun? I'm having fun.
Man, I'm not having fun. This is horrible. No, but Mitch, I'm tired of all the Mitch slander. You could put you could put those chants away because Mitch didn't play bad at all. Sure, he made one bad interception over the middle to Jalen Mills. That was bad. But the dude went 21 for 33, threw for over 150 yards with a touchdown. Luke, do you have something to say?
Not bad. There was that one play at the end of the first half, I believe, where he tried to get it to the end zone.
Yeah, that was
He kind of could only get it 50 yards.
that was idiotic.
Which isn't really a good trait to have as a quarterback. But it's,
Dude,
he's money, Mitch.
but all I'm saying is, if you look at that one drive where we drove down the field on the Patriots and scored a touchdown, what do? No huddle, right? Punched into the end zone, marched the ball down the field, and also, it's not helping that our O-line is absolutely atrocious. Najee Harris, 15 carries, 49 yards. Are you kidding me? How many yards did he have receiving?
Matt Judon had a great game as well against that O-line.
Yes, he did. Oh, yeah. And that's no surprise there. Dude, just, I don't know. And Luke, you can't say, oh, TJ Watt, that's not a big deal. Luke, he is our defense. He is our defense.
I absolutely can and will say, oh, TJ Watt, we still beat you.
Yeah.
I think we still beat you with TJ Watt.
But, if TJ Watt's in there, who do you think wins that game?
We still beat you.
No way,
think we
Luke.
still
What
beat
are
you
you
with TJ
talking? What are you talking about?
Cole Strange is locking down
Cole Strange.
TJ Watt.
He
Yes,
wouldn't even be touching TJ Watt.
Yeah, because TJ Watt wouldn't even go near him. He'd be too scared.
Cole Strange, more like Cole Ass.
Fire
bro.
Matt Rule.
Yeah. All right, my rant is over because we got to get on with the show. But that's it. Fire Matt Canada. Remember Adam, your Fire Matt Rule campaign. Fire Matt Canada.
Oh, that's back on too, by the way.
Oh, still.
You want
yeah.
me to get right into that?
Go for it.
All right, that was
dear
fun.
Lord.
That was fun.
Okay. You guys had your 20 minutes of fun. I'm going to have my 20 minutes of shame with the Carolina Panthers losing by 3 to the New York Giants. I'm going to say this. It was better than last year's crappy performance. 25-3 last year with Sam Darnold. But this year, I mean, we had a lead at one point. Again, we just blew it. I will say this. The run defense. Oh, God. Did it pause again?
No, we're good. Keep talking. You're good.
Are we good?
If it goes black, it's
We are
Yeah,
good.
we're good.
Okay. All right. The run defense was better this time. Saquon, 21 carries for 72 yards. Even though he got a lot of carries, it was much better this time. I will say that. Christian McCaffrey, I got to give it to you, my friend. 15 carries for 102 yards, your first 100-yard rushing game in 3 years. Congratulations, Mr. McCaffrey.
Really?
First since 2019, from what I've heard. Baker, 14 for 29. Could have been better, but could have been a lot worse. DJ Moore getting a touchdown. 3 receptions, though, it ain't enough for DJ. You got to give him more than 3 receptions. Same with Robbie Anderson. I feel like we used the rushing a lot this game. But, I mean, whatever. Frankie Louver, you got to catch that interception, man. That could have changed the game. But, I mean, other than that, play calling. Matt Rule, Ben McAdoo, what are you doing? Fire Matt Rule. But I'm not going to say that too faithfully because if we fire Matt Rule, Ben McAdoo's taking over. I don't know if I want that. So, Dante, can you guys, fork over Brian Flores, please, and give him to us?
No.
Luke, can you fork over
Whoever
Bill
you're-
Belichick? Steve Belichick, at least?
My best offer is
Joe Judge. I'll honestly take that over Matt Rule right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get that ridiculous. You know what? Fine.
You guys can have
I'll
Randy Fichtner.
I'll give No. I will give Matt Rule some praise because, as my one friend JoJo said best, there is one head coach worse than Matt Rule right now, and that is Nathaniel Hackett. And I stand by that.
so far.
I feel bad for the guy.
I do too.
Dude, yeah, that's rough.
It's very close, but okay. I don't want to say anything else. Just please, I don't know when you're going to bounce back, but bounce back.
You
At
will.
least make
You
next
will.
week interesting. I already know we're going to lose, probably. Just please make it interesting. Okay, we already recapped Jets and Browns. Colts and Jags. Colts. What happened?
Colts, what happened?
24-0 you lost? I thought you were going to lose. I didn't think you were going to get shut out. That's embarrassing. If I'm a Colts fan right now, I'm embarrassed to be a fan of that team.
Luke, you should have went with the clean sweep, my friend.
I picked the Colts because I felt like I had to, and I was so wrong.
Matt Ryan is looking like such a downgrade from Wentz right now.
Always bet.
As if that was possible.
Always bet on the Jags at home versus the Colts.
I guess
They
so.
have won now 8 years in a row in Jacksonville.
That's how, Bill. I thought it was only like 3 or 4. Oh my
In fact,
God!
Let me give you this stat that I saw this morning on Instagram, the lovely social media site known as Instagram. The 4 teams
Lovely.
known as the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New York Giants and Jets all won on the same day for the first time in 3,935 days. All 4 of them won on the same day. Starting with Jacksonville, who we were talking about right now. Colts, you got to step it up, and I don't know when that's going to be because your next matchup is Kansas City. After that, Tennessee, Denver. Oh, then it's Jacksonville again. Then Tennessee. I mean, this schedule looks rough. Really
Pittsburgh.
rough. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That's on. Is that on? That's not on Thanksgiving, is it?
What's the day?
No, it's November 20th. I think it's a Monday night game.
No, that's,
Yeah, it's the week before.
that's the week before.
So, yeah,
Either way, Pittsburgh, baby.
yeah.
Steelers Sunday.
Who are we still talking about?
The Colts. They got to step it
Let's
up.
move on from the
Praise
Colts
to
here.
Jacksonville, though. Congratulations on a great win. Moving on to an absolute incredible game.
Yes, sir.
Incredible game. Might be the game of the year at this point. It is the game of the year to this point. It might be down the line. Who knows? The Dolphins and the Ravens. Baltimore had a huge lead. Miami came back. Gave Dante that victory.
Yeah,
over
yeah. I
us.
was about to say, boys,
Tua
who picked Miami?
Tagovailoa. 6 touchdowns.
I had to dream about it.
Did
That
throw 2
division.
picks, but 6 touchdowns.
Man.
469 passing yards.
Nice.
Matt.
He made Luke delete all the retweets he made about Tua slander.
Man, it was a tough day as a Tua hater.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle each had 2 touchdowns. Mike Goatsicki had a touchdown.
Mike Goatsicki.
Fun fact, I liked Tua before the Dolphins posed any sort of threat. When they were still, like, an embarrassing team, like, 4 years ago. I was like, yeah, Tua's cool.
Boys, I have breaking news.
He's still kind of cool.
I have breaking news.
What? Let's hear it.
WG is at 69 followers.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, Tua, man, what a game. What a game from both quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is looking like an MVP candidate. He's looking like a top 3 option as a fantasy quarterback. Tua, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill combined for over 120 fantasy points together. That's ridiculous. I touched on earlier about how that wide receiver duo is just unguardable. They find spots on the field to be open. That was an awkward way of saying it. They make themselves open. That's still an awkward way of saying it. They're so fast. It's just unguardable. You're gonna get down to the field with both of those guys. It doesn't matter if your quarterback is Tua, Tom Brady, or me. You throw anybody out there, and that team is going to win some games. That's what I'm starting to realize, even though I was low on the Dolphins. Because of course I was. I'm a Patriots fan. Of course I was low on the Dolphins. But man, Tua, he shut me up yesterday. I had to delete some tweets. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I can't really hate on him at all. What a game, man.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic game.
Stumbling over my words today.
But with that, let's move on to the next not as fantastic game. Buccaneers and Saints. I hate to say this. This was a snooze fest for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the 4th quarter that this game got exciting. It was
and
3-3
exciting is a stretch.
entering the 4th.
Well, I guess not.
Then Tampa took over. I will say it has some historic spin on it. This is Tom Brady's first regular season win against the Saints as a member of the Buccaneers. He was previously 0-4. Now he is 1-4. So congrats to Brady. The only touchdown of the game, what was it? No, not of the game. Of the game for the Bucs was by Brashad Perryman. And the only touchdown of the game for the Saints was by Michael Thomas. We did have a brawl touchdown in the 4th quarter. Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore, Buckeyes legend, got at it. Mike Evans pushed Lattimore, started an all-out brawl. We know Mike Evans is suspended 1 game. He's appealing. We know that. But, yeah, just craziness. This is starting to become a really good rivalry between these 2 teams, the Buccaneers and the Saints. It's starting to become really fun to watch. When do they next play? They next play not until December 5th. So it's going to be a while before these 2 match up again. But that one will be in Tampa. Maybe New Orleans can get their revenge. We'll see how they're looking by then. It's going to be a while until that. We got a solid 2.5 months until that matchup. So
True.
it'll be Christmas time by the time that matchup rolls around.
Oh, what a time.
Snow on the ground, maybe. But, yeah, I mean, not really much else you could say there other than Tom Brady got the win. Jameis did not look that great. I will say that. He had 3 picks.
Yeah.
All in the 4th quarter, right?
I'm not sure, I guess.
That's what I thought I heard.
Maybe you're right, but
Either way.
yeah, I guess next game, you got to recap. The Commanders and the Lions. Josh Knapp, congrats on your win.
We all picked the Commanders.
We all picked the Commanders. We all looked like fools, at least in the first half, because it was 22-0 at halftime. The Commanders didn't start scoring until the 3rd quarter.
However, they did score 27
They
points.
did score 27 points. Carson Wentz, despite throwing 1 pick, still looked good. Jared Goff looked excellent, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Aiden Hutchinson
He deserves that.
had his first sack of his career and then added 2 more onto that. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 touchdowns.
40 points in fantasy.
Reynolds and Swift each had a touchdown. Who had
Good for the
touchdowns
Lions.
the
Good for Dan
Commanders?
Campbell.
Gibson had a touchdown. Curtis Samuel had a touchdown. And Logan Thomas had a touchdown.
I forget exactly what his name is either. We'll see how fast I can type it on Twitter.
Who?
But there was a Lions player yesterday who had his first career start. I can't find it. There was a Lions player yesterday who was his first career start, an O lineman, I believe. He's been in the league 6 years. Dan Campbell gave him the game ball. Good for the Lions. That's a feel-good win. We all picked the Commanders, and they made some mistakes. They almost came back, but man, they got destroyed in the first half. It was a good game though.
Yeah,
Right.
For sure.
I'm not sure there's much more to say.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Next game, we got to talk about Seahawks and 49ers. Prayers up to Trey Lance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Out
of
for the
course.
season. You hate to see
That's
that
horrible.
rough start to your career.
But dude, the Niners have to be thanking the Lord they got Jimmy G back though.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Somehow,
know?
some way, Jimmy G ends up the starter again through all of this.
And dude,
I had a weird feeling it would happen that way too.
I think they could be better
Yeah.
with Jimmy G.
Nobody wants to say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
It really
It's
I mean,
mean-
it's the safest option for sure. Jimmy G's taken them to the NFC Championship twice, to the Super Bowl once. I mean, for sure it's the safest option. I hope, for the 49ers' sake, that Trey Lance is better next year. I mean, they traded 3 first-round picks to get him and used a first-round pick to draft him. So it's basically 4 right there. But, I mean, you just got to hope for a speedy recovery for him. Other than that, it was a pretty dominating win.
yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo had 154 yards and a touchdown.
When did he come in? When did Lance get hurt?
First quarter, I
Early.
believe.
First quarter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very early. Trey Lance only had 3 attempts. He was 2 for 3 for 30 yards.
Didn't he break his ankle?
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
It's
man.
horrible.
Who would have thought?
Basically, the rushing is just all in a frenzy. Jeff Wilson was the leading rusher. Deebo Samuel got some rushes. Tyrion Davis-Price. Trey Lance even got some. Jimmy G and Kyle Juszczyk. Then you got Ayuk and Samuel receiving.
Yep.
Hopefully Kittle can
All
come
right.
back next week.
Yep.
And then, I mean, the Seahawks. DJ Dallas got a win. Or play at QB. So, interesting enough.
All
Nice.
right, let's get through some of the rest of these games here.
Yeah, for sure. We have the Falcons and the Rams. This was interesting because Atlanta was down pretty big at halftime. Seemed like the game was over. They made a comeback. In fact, they were down 28-3 at one point. I might just want to emphasize that. They made a comeback, but it was too little too late. LA got the win,
Yes, sir.
and that's how that happened.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to say on that matchup?
I mean, just almost a huge comeback by the Falcons, but that's about it. Now this next game, though, did you guys see this one? The Cardinals beating the Raiders.
I did not watch it. Well,
Dude.
okay, I watched a tiny bit of
I
it
was-
on Josh Knapp's computer, but
I was in church during the comeback. I did not see it.
Dude,
yeah, I heard all about this.
did y'all see the highlight?
I saw the highlight at the end.
Oh my god, dude! I
Hunter
was watching this
Renfrow.
live.
So it was a 20-0 Vegas lead at one point. They blew it, largest lead in history for their franchise. It went to overtime, tied at 23, and Hunter Renfrow fumbled, right? And it was a scoop and
Twice
score
in overtime.
for the win. Really, twice in overtime. Wow! But it was a scoop and score for the win for
Yeah.
Arizona.
Absolutely crazy, and they were almost in field goal range.
That was
Absolutely crazy.
wow. And Vegas fans were popping champagne bottles in the third quarter, I
Yeah.
believe.
Wow,
That's just a
That's
bad
rough.
look.
it's a bad look.
Very, very, very
Oh,
bad.
what happens in Vegas, I guess, doesn't stay. in
Gets
Vegas.
posted on social media.
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, what do we got next?
Well, let me just interrupt. I'm looking at a video right now of Cowboys fans. Speaking of obnoxious celebrating, I have a video of a Cowboys fan riding a horse in Walmart, celebrating the win.
Joe Burr.
Anything you can do, I guess.
Nice.
Let me see this.
Yeah, he's
Joe Burrell.
riding a white and blue horse around Walmart, celebrating the
Okay,
Cowboys win.
Interesting.
As he should.
What happens in Walmart stays in Walmart, I guess. Moving on. Next one, Texans and Broncos. Did anyone watch this game? Not really, probably, right?
No.
Denver's just rough start, rough play calling. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett, you got to put it together. Thankfully, you guys won, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got Russell Wilson. I imagine Russell Wilson throwing darts across the field to Courtland Sutton and Judy and KJ Hamler, who's a name I haven't heard yet this year.
Yeah.
You got KJ Hamler in that offense.
Thank
Use the man.
God.
Penn State legend. But yeah, they were playing the Texans, thankfully, for their sake. But
Dude, Hamler had no... Wait, did he have anything? No.
did he have anything?
No.
Wow.
Nothing.
He was playing, right?
Yeah, he's
Are you
healthy.
sure he wasn't out?
No, he's healthy.
Dang.
Wow.
He's
Dude, he is such a beast.
yeah, that's crazy.
Who is Tyree Cleveland?
Who knows? Who
Who
knows?
is Eric
A lot of random
Stauber?
players in the NFL now.
What the...
As We Hoopin calls them best, Hall of Fame randoms.
Very true.
Next one, Bengals and Cowboys. Dante, I will give you the.
Give me the stage here.
I will give you the stage here.
Everybody call me crazy. It's cool when they do it. That's a problem when I do it. Fuck them. No, but yeah, dude, I just had a good feeling about the Cowboys going into this game, and I said Micah Parsons in that Cowboys D-line is going to be a big factor, and it was. They sacked Joe Burrow. I don't have the exact amount of times, but a lot, and that was what won them the game. You know, these
that was crazy.
last 2 weeks the Bengals have lost by a combined total of 6 points. That's rough. Do I think the Bengals season is over? No, absolutely not. But are they trending towards not winning the North? Yes.
Yeah, Baltimore has looked off to a great
Baltimore.
start. I mean, you always got Pittsburgh and Cleveland too.
Yeah, right now I would say Baltimore's in the lead. But, I mean, if the Bengals don't get together quick, they're going to fall out of that and people are going to forget about them.
It's very early, but you are right. The Bengals do need to get it together.
It's do or die at this point. Their next game is, I think, a must-win.
And then for our Sunday night game, to recap, Bears and the Packers, they got to stop putting this on Sunday night because it's a blowout.
Dude, it's so boring.
It is.
It's so
I get the historic rivalry between these two. Historic rivalry, as you call it.
But it's not even a rivalry anymore, dude.
No, it's not. It's like, I've heard some people say the Steelers and the Ravens is not much of a rivalry as much as it used to. That's more of a rivalry than this.
Oh, dude, we hate each other.
I mean,
Steelers and Browns.
At least it's competitive.
Oh, my God.
The Bears just don't make it competitive, and I get it. They don't have the roster to make it competitive. But
still don't put it on prime
there
time.
are certain other games on this schedule this week I would have rather watched on the Sunday night stage than Bears and Packers.
Basically like any of them.
Basically like any of them. You're right. Dolphins and Ravens as a Sunday night game would have been crazy.
Dude, even the Steelers and Patriots don't really
Steelers
like
and
each other.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Cardinals and Raiders would have been a crazy
Raiders,
Sunday
bro.
night game.
Bucks, Saints,
Bucks Saints.
Dolphins, Ravens, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a growing rivalry.
Panthers Giants. No. I'm just kidding about that. But
Good game, though.
yeah, true. It's just, I mean, I don't want to tune in on Sunday night and have the score be 24-7 at halftime.
True.
I want the last game of my football Sunday to be entertaining. I want it to go out on a good note. And with Bears and Packers, it just doesn't go out on a good note.
At least we have two solid Monday nighters tonight.
Right. And
Titans, Bills, Vikings, Eagles.
we will revisit those in a second. But Luke, first, I want you to give us your stardom situm
All
with
right,
a
is it
special
time?
twist for week 3. Yes.
Have we gone through all the games?
Yeah. It's time.
All right, fantastic.
Go for it.
First, before I reveal the little change in what I'm doing, let's recap week 1 of my stardom situm. So, I will admit I went 7 for 8, but as you will hear, the one I got wrong, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It was not
It's
my
not
fault.
his
It
fault.
was not my fault. So, let's start with these. I said, start Carson Wentz. He had 27.78 points. W. I said, and this was bold for my first ever time on the show, I said, sit Tom Brady. He had 9.4 points. W. I said, start Antonio Gibson. He had 12.1 points. I'm considering that a W. I said, sit Travis Etienne. 8.3 points. I'm considering that a W. Here's my one L. And I'll take it. I'll put it in the record as an L. But this is not my fault. I said, start Tyler Boyd when I thought T. Higgins was going to be out. T. Higgins played. He had 19 points. Tyler Boyd only had 5.7 points. I'm just saying, if T. Higgins was out, that's a lot of extra targets for Tyler Boyd. That would have been a W. But I'm a man. I'll take my L. I said, sit Kendrick Bourne. He had 3.6 points. Unfortunate W. I said, and I'm proud of this one, start Zach Ertz. He had 15.5 points. W. And I said, sit Kyle Pitts. He had 3.9 points. Poor Kyle Pitts. All right, let's get into my Week 3 stardom sit-em with a little bit of a twist. Not only am I doing stardom sit-em for each position, I'm going to tell you one guy off the waiver wire that you should pick up for each position. So, Week 3, quarterback. Again, when I say this, I'm not personally starting them, unless I am. I'm just giving advice. By the way, folks, this is just going to keep getting harder because stats are just going to keep getting more inconsistent. And I can't just say, start Cooper Kupp, sit Jalen Reagor. I can't just be that obvious about it. I'm starting Jalen Hurts. The Eagles have won their last 2 games against the Commanders, and the Commanders' defense just got pummeled by Detroit. It's that simple. I'm sitting Aaron Rodgers. The last time he played Tampa was in October 2 years ago, and he had 5.8 fantasy points. The Bucs defense has not only allowed 13 points in real life, but they've only allowed a combined 13 points from the 3 fantasy quarterbacks that they've faced. Also, your waiver wire pickup, who's only rostered on 6.8% of leagues, is Jared Goff, because the Lions' offense is looking to be among the most explosive in the NFL. I was shocked to see that he wasn't rostered in more leagues. He had like 30 points this week, I think. Moving into the running backs, you guys will like this one. Start Saquon Barkley. I'm saying not to overreact, even though he had a significant drop-off in volume this week. He's still at 11.2 points, which is fine. And considering how high he was probably drafted in all leagues, either in the first, second, maybe third round, there's just no excuse to bench him yet. I would start him. I wouldn't worry about it too much yet. But absolutely sit Zeke Elliott. He's way too untrustworthy. He's been underperforming. The Giants, who he has next, have held Derrick Henry and CMC to a combined 24 points. And plus, Tony Pollard just had a 19-point week in fantasy. And your waiver wire pickup is Jeff Wilson Sr. from the 49ers. He's rostered in 61.3% of leagues, and he's probably going to continue to be the RB1 with Elijah Mitchell out. And there's more possible running opportunities with Jimmy G playing now.
I hate to be this guy and correct you. It's Jeff Wilson Jr., not Senior.
Junior? Okay, I wrote that down wrong. Thank
You're
you.
good.
We'll stick with the 49ers as I'm starting Deebo Samuel. He hasn't been anything special yet in fantasy at all, really. I think only like 12 and 14 points. But Jimmy G is back at the helm, and he's due. He's going to have a good week. Sit Brandon Cooks, because the Chicago defense has been fine versus wide receivers so far, holding Deebo to only like 12 points. There's just not anything attractive about Cook's matchup in week 2, so sit him. And your waiver wire pickup at the wide receiver position, you guys are also really going to like this. It's Jahan Dotson.
Dub.
He's only surprisingly rostered in 60.7% of leagues. He scored 18 and 17.9, so he's looking really, really good and consistent. Moving into tight ends, one of you is going to really like this. Start Pat Freiermuth.
Dub.
Or as Franco Harris says,
Freiermuth.
Freiermuth. He has a good floor. He's been putting up decent numbers in fantasy, even especially with limited targets. He's a good red zone option and a safe fallback option for what could be mediocre QB play. No disrespect, but he's a safe option. Sit TJ Hawkinson. He has a very concerningly small role in the passing game, despite the Lions' offense being great. And plus, it's a tough Week 3 matchup. And your waiver wire pickup is Gerald Everett from the Chargers. He's only rostered in 30.7% of leagues. I wouldn't necessarily play him without Herbert, but with Herbert, he looks like a good fantasy option to start at the tight end position. Definitely flex. I believe he's had 13 and 14 points. So that will conclude my stardom sit in week 2. I had a good week 1, and I'm looking to continue it, putting even more on my plate with the waiver wire pickups, which I will recap again next week too. So I hope I get them all right, and if you take my advice, let me know how it goes.
All right. Okay. Moving on. We've got the fantasy leaders for week 2. Are you all ready for my top 15 and honorable mention?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you're going to see a trend that there are a lot of people from one specific game.
I wonder which game.
Yeah. You're going to see it. Okay, for my honorable mention, I noticed he was on Dante's team in our league. We have Mr. Mike Williams.
Yes,
against
sir.
The Chiefs with 25.3 points. Certainly had himself a bounce-back week with Keenan Allen injured. Hope Keenan Allen gets back soon, though. Now into the top 15. At number 15, with 25.7 fantasy points, the first of a lot of people to be featured in this game. Spoiler alert. It's Mark Andrews. 25.7 against the Dolphins. At number 14, just edging out Andrews with 25.8 fantasy points in a win at home against the Colts, Christian Kirk. Coming in number 13, in an overtime victory at the Raiders with 25.88 fantasy points, Kyler Murray. Coming in at number 12 with another win at home against the Washington Commanders with 26.04 points, one of Luke's waiver wire features, Mr. Jared Goff. Coming in at number 11, I never thought I would say this, with 26.88 fantasy points in a win against the Browns, Joe Flacco. I never thought I would say Joe Flacco.
Elite quarterback.
Elite quarterback in the top 11 for fantasy finishes. Coming in at number 10 with 27.78 fantasy points, we have Carson Wentz in a loss over the Lions. Luke, that was a good pick for your stardom sit-em last week. Number 9 with 30 on the dot, with his first 2 career touchdowns, Garrett Wilson in a win over the Browns. Number 8 in a win over the Falcons with 31.8 fantasy points, we have Cooper Kupp. Coming in at number 7, 1 second, in a win over the Bears, he went off on Sunday Night Football, 32 on the dot for Aaron Jones. If you had Aaron Jones, you had a good night. At number 6, with 32.3 in a loss to the Jets, he had a really good game yesterday, Nick Chubb. And now for our top 5. In his win against the Ravens with 38.86 fantasy points, possibly the best game of his career, Tua Tagovailoa. Coming at number 4, 39.4 fantasy points in a win over the Commanders for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now number 3, the top 3 are all featured from the same game. With 40.1 points in a win, Jalen Waddle. With 42 on the dot in a win, Tyreek Hill comes into number 2. And even though he lost, our number 1 spot with 46.62 points goes to Lamar Jackson.
Nice.
So just make sure. Yep, okay, it's still going.
Yes, sir.
Lamar Jackson is the winner for Fantasy Week number 2. And now, before we wrap up Episode 2, let's revisit the Monday night games tonight, starting off with the Bills hosting the Titans at 7:15. Are we keeping with the Bills for this game, or are any of us changing?
Nah, I'm rolling with the Bills here.
Bills.
All right, we're all staying with the Bills. And for the final one, 8:30 tonight, Vikings at Eagles. Luke, you originally predicted Philly. Dante and I picked Minnesota. I'm sticking with the Vikings. Dante, are you sticking?
Yes, sir.
Luke?
As am I. I'm going with the Eagles.
All right. So all of us are remaining with our predictions for Monday night. Bills, clean sweep. And then Dante and I pick the Vikings. Luke is the lone person picking the Eagles. We'll see who's right in that game, and we'll see if all of us get Buffalo right. With that, we're going to wrap up Episode 2 on that note. Thank you guys all for listening. I'm Adam.
Dante, my apologies, man. I'm just a little preoccupied right now.
You're good. And?
I'm Luke.
All right, that wraps up Episode number 2. We will have this out, and we will see you guys next week for Episode 3. Thank you.
Jesus loves you all. Thank you for listening.
Yes, sir.